Hello everyone, myself Sneha Shah from the LG Institute of Engineering and Technology from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today I will explain you about Unit 4 of the Digital Signal Processing Structure for Discrete Time System. Today we will discuss about structure for IIR filter. Now for this some basic representation should be there. So to know that, first topic is block diagram and signal flow diagram representation of linear constant coefficient difference equations. In this, the first one is adder. And suppose what is adder? Suppose if we want to add two signals, so to add these two signals, first of all we will take the first signal as x1 of n and the second signal we will take as x2 of n. This two signal will get added by using adder. So it will gives you the output as sum of these two signals like x1 of n plus x2 of n. So to adding this two term, we have to use this representation as adder. Now the second point is summing device. If you want to do sum of the more than two things, then for that we will use summing device. To represent it, we will take a summer of this. So we will take summing point. In this, suppose if we will take three different sequence like x1 of n, y of n and w of n, then these three terms will get added and it will gives you the output as x of n plus y of n plus w of n. Now the next point is constant multiplier. Suppose we want to multiply the original signal x of n with a constant term. So to multiply this, we will use constant multiplier. So suppose if we want to get the output a into x of n, the representation is like this. We will take x of n, then we will multiply it with a constant multiplier by a, so it will gives you the output as a x of n. So x of n multiply with a, so this representation will shows you the constant multiplier. Now the next term is delay by k sample. Suppose if you want to delay any term by k sample, then we will use delay unit. Now how will representing it? It will be representing by z raised to minus k. So suppose if we will take input signal x of n, then we will apply it to the delay unit, then it will gives you the output as x of n minus k. This one is minus k, so it will gives you delay by a k sample. Now the next point is advance by k sample. Suppose if we want to do advancement by the k sample, so for that we will use z raised to k instead of z raised to this minus k. So if we will take x of n and we are applying it into the z raised to k block, then it will gives you the advancement in the input term. So it will gives you the output as x of n plus k. So what are the advantages of this block diagram representation? From the block diagram representation, we can easily, by observing the block diagram, we can easily return the computational algorithm. So the first advantage is easy computational algorithm. Then the second advantage is relationship between input and output can be determined easily. Easily we can determine the relationship between input and outputs. Then the next advantage is memory requirement, computational complexity can be calculated. Now the next topic is canonic structure. Now what is canonic structure and what is non-canonic structure? Suppose if you want to delay by 5 unit, then there are two options. First option is we are directly taking, suppose if you want to do delay by 5 units, right? So directly we can use z raised to minus 5, it will gives you delay by 5 samples. So if we will applying x of n as input, so it will gives you the output as x of n minus 5. It means it will gives you the output delayed by 5 samples. So this term will consider as non-canonic structure. For that we will use only one delay block. Now instead of this, if we will divide this in 5 parts, then this will be representing like this: z raised to minus 1, z raised to minus 1, z raised to minus 1, z raised to minus 1. So for 5 sample delay, if we will use different 5 individual delay units, so this one is x of n, over here x of n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3, n minus 4, and the last one is x of n minus 5. So this representation is considered as canonic structure. Means for number of delay unit, we will use number of delay block. So for number of delay samples, we will use number of delay unit, then it is known as canonic structure. And if we will use just one block, then it will consider as non-canonic structure. So if we will define canonic structure, it will be defined like if the number of delay elements in the block diagram is equal to the order of difference equation of a digital filter, then the realization structure is known as canonic structure. Now the next topic is structures for IIR filter. There are basically 3 types of structures for the IIR filter. First one is direct form structure, then the next one is cascade form structure, and the next one is parallel form structure. Now direct form structure will further divide into 2 parts: direct form 1 structure and direct form 2 structure. So the next topic is direct form 1 structure. So if we want to derive direct form 1 structure, for derivation of this direct form 1 structure, first of all we will derive as the transfer function h of z. Suppose if we will write this in terms of general form, then general form is summation k equals to 0 to m bk z raised to minus k divided by 1 plus summation k equals to 1 to n ak z raised to minus k. This is the generalized difference equation for the discrete time LTI system. Now if we will defining the numerator part as h1 of z, suppose if we will defining numerator part as h1 of z, then it will representing like summation h1 of z equals to summation k equals to 0 to m bk z raised to minus k. And if we will defining h2 of z, it will representing as 1 plus summation k equals to 1 to n ak z raised to minus k. But this one is denominator, so we will representing it as 1 upon this term. Now if we will defining any system, the system transfer function will representing as h of z. Over here we are applying input as x of z, it will gives you the output y of z, right? Now we will divide this h of z in 2 parts, like first one is h1 of z and the second part is h2 of z. So this h of z is a mixture of this two, h1 of z and h2 of z. Then this is the final diagram. This one is x of z and this one is y of z. So by multiplying these two terms, we can derive the value of h of z. So if we will multiply these two terms, it will give you the final value of h of z, right? So from this, if we will say that the intermediate part is representing as w of z. So what is the value of h1 of z? h1 of z equals to output upon input. So h1 of z's output equals to w of z and input is x of z. So h1 of z equals to w of z upon x of z. So if we will write w of z upon x of z equals to, this one is h of z, right? So h of z equals to this, equals to, now what is h1 of z? h1 of z equals to summation k equals to 0 to m, this one, bk z raised to minus k. Now if we'll cross multiply this two term, then the value is w of z equals to x of z will multiply over here. So it will becomes summation k equals to 0 to m bk z raised to minus k x of z. Now if we'll take inverse z transform on both the side, then it will representing as, we will simplify the last term, this term. So it will gives you the output like w of z equals to summation k equals to 0 to m bk z raised to minus k x of z, right? Last equation is like this. Now if we will take put values of k equals to 0, 1, 2, 3 up to m, then this term will becomes as b0 z raised to 0 x of z plus b1 z raised to z raised to minus 1 x of z plus up to last term is m. So term will becomes bm z raised to minus m x of z. Now if we will take this one is w of z, so if we will take inverse z transform of this, w of z will becomes w of n equals to b0 z raised to 0 equals to 1, inverse z transform of x of z will becomes x of n plus b1 as it is. Now z inverse x of z, by using time shifting property of the z transform, we can say that its inverse z transform is x of n minus 1 plus up to bm x of n minus m. So this is the final value of w of n, right? Now if we want to draw this diagram, how will represent it? It will be representing like x of n, we have taken x of n. This will multiply with b0, it will add with all this term and it will gives you the output as w of n, right? So to get this, now x of n minus 1, it will representing as delay by 1 unit, and we are representing this structure in canonic form. So over here we will representing it in terms of z raised to minus 1. So over here the term will become, this one is x of n, delay by 1 unit. It means it will gives you x of n minus 1. Now this term will add with, it will multiply with b1 into this, right? So b1 into x of n minus 1, this term will add with this part. Similarly, all the other delay unit, last delay unit will gives you the output as x of n minus m. It will multiply with bm and all this part will added with sum. So this will gives you the first point of h1 of z. Similarly, if we will deriving for h2 of z, so what will be the value of h2 of z? h2 of z is, value of h2 of z is 1 upon 1 plus summation k equals to 1 to n ak z raised to minus k, right? We have taken this value as h2 of z. But what is h2 of z? This one is h1, output of h1 is given to h2 and output of it will be y. Input is x, over here the point is w. Now if we will take h2, what is value of h2? h2 means output upon input, means y by w. So over here we will take y of z we will take y of z divided by w of z. Now we will cross multiply these two terms, w of z into 1. It will gives you output as w of z. This will multiply over here. It will gives you 1 into y of z, means y of z plus summation k equals to 1 to n ak z raised to minus k into y of z. Now we will take output is what? Y, right? So we will take this as final term as y of z equals to, so all this term goes over here, so it will gives you the output as w of z. This term goes over here, it means minus summation k equals to 1 to n ak z raised to minus k y of z. Now if we'll put all the values of k, then this term will becomes a1 z raised to minus 1. If we will take k equals to 1, y of z minus a2 z raised to minus 2 y of z up to up to n. So last term is an z raised to minus n y of z. Now if we will take inverse z transform of this, then y of z will becomes y of n, w of z will becomes w of n minus a1 constant as it is. Now this term will representing y of n, because of this delay it will representing y of n minus 1 up to last term is an, this term representing y of n minus capital N terms. So now if we want to draw this output, the output is drawn as output equals to y of n. And what is the input? Input is wn for the term of h2 of z, right? So how y of n will occur? Y of n will occur because of wn minus this term. In this we will use y of n minus 1. It means delay in the output. So we will put delay unit at the output side. So this one is output, right? Over here we will take delay unit. So y of n z inverse means it will gives you delay in output. Now this will multiply with b1. Sorry, a1, because we have taken constant as a1 and this one is minus a1. So we will take minus a1. So this term will be minus a1. Now this point will be added with this input signal w of n. Similarly, all the other terms will be added up to last term is capital N. So the last unit is representing as y of n minus n. It will be multiplied with minus an, and this will get added with all the other terms. So this one is the final answer. Now we have to merge these two terms. h1 of z, output of this will given to the h2 of z, right? So this one is h2 of z, this one is h2 of z, right? So before h2 of z we have to put h1 of z. So over here I will draw the h1 of z. So x of n, as we have already derived h1 of z, I will redrawn it over here. So this is the final answer. This one is h1 of z, this one is h2 of z. So this is the final structure of direct form 1. Now from this, if we will compute the computational complexity for this structure, then what will be the computational complexity? How many number of multiplications are there? Over here b1, 2, 3, 4 up to m, right? So m number of multiplication for this stage, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n. So n number of multiplications are there, and over here we have multiply with 1. So 1 multiplier for this term. So total number of multiplications are m plus n plus 1. Now how many number of adders should be there? Suppose if you want to add 1 plus 2. So to add two terms 1 plus 2 means to add two number we have to use only one adder, means less than 1. Suppose if we will add 1 plus 2 plus 3 means we want to add three different number, then we will use two adders, right? So number of terms minus 1, that number of adders will be required. So number of adders will be m plus n. And the last one is number of memory locations. So how many numbers of memory locations will be there? This one is m plus n plus 1. So number of multipliers will consider as number of memory locations. So if we will compute the complexity, so computational complexity equals to number of multiplication equals to m plus n plus 1, number of additions equals to m plus n, number of memory locations equals to m plus n plus 1. Now direct form 2 structure. Why we are designing direct form 2 structure? Over here the number of memory locations are too many, m plus n plus 1. Now to reduce this number of memory location, in this direct form 1 structure, as we have taken h1 as numerator part, h2 as denominator part, if we will reverse these two orders, then we can merge these two memory locations, right? So by merging these two memory locations, the number of memory locations can be reduced. So this structure can be redrawn in the direct form 2 structure like this. Over here x of n. First I will draw the denominator part. Then I will draw the numerator part. Now see, this 2z inverse part can be merged and it will become only one memory unit like z inverse. So it will save the number of memory units. So to increase the number of memory location for different applications, we will use direct form 2 structure. So the final direct form 2 structure can be redrawn as like this. After merging over here, it will be look like this. So number of memory locations will be reduced. So if we will calculate computational complexity for this, number of multiplications will remain same, number of additions will also remain same, but the number of memory locations can be reduced to maximum number of m and n. Now what are the advantages of direct form structure? The first advantage is it is easily implement, and if we use direct form 2 structure, then the number of memory locations can be reduced. What are the disadvantages of direct form structure? There are basically it is sensitive to the effect of quantization errors in the coefficient, and it is not preferred in the practice.